Hi, everybody. Thanks to Avast Virus Database Update, I'm going to make this one extremely quick because I've already made a video and it's totally screwed up now because I couldn't edit it correctly. My own fault. Anyway, the NASDAQ 100 was up 0.10% today. What I want to show with this chart is if you notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the past 13 sessions we've been higher. That's bullish. Yes, it's very bullish, but at the same time, it makes us short-term very overbought. So I would say a market pullback here definitely should be expected. But if we continue to melt higher, count this guy as somebody that won't be shocked. And why I won't be shocked is because the Russell 2000 has retaken the lead by being up 0.85% today, closing higher than where it opened yesterday. The reason why we didn't switch to a buy signal on, say, Monday? On Monday. Golly, I'm totally lost in my days. The reason why we didn't switch to a buy signal on Monday is because we close lower than where we open. Today we didn't have that. The Russell 2000 led the way. So our whole market portfolio is now under a buy signal. And that means that the S&P 500 is under a buy signal officially. Even though it was already hitting new highs, the lower volume was the problem. But volume was slightly higher than the day before today on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And even though it's well below average, hell, I'll count it, especially with the Russell 2000 leading. So we're under a buy signal across the board. Nothing shocking. We've already been fully long for quite some time. So it's just basically a matter of clerical work right now. Only one sell. QUNR was a new long yesterday. We got a good fill this morning. But the bottom line is, why did this thing gap down? Whenever I checked out the news, I couldn't find anything. I'm big with moving on from losses and not spending too much time dwelling on it. So notice QUNR gap down. Notice I couldn't find any negative headlines. I went ahead and just was like, we'll have to wash our hands of it. However, QUNR did find some intraday support. It managed to close above where my final cut loss level of 29.64 is. There was also a big 2 million share block buy intraday, and late in the day, the stock found support at that level. So because of all that, we'll go ahead. We got a good fill in the morning after the gap down. It didn't close that much lower from where it opened. Small losses, still holding above the final cut loss and some intraday support. I'll go ahead and give it one more day to prove itself. If it closes below 29.64, we are completely out. So it's only a 50% sell. Besides that, everything else looks great. And on top of that, there are signals galore. I'm going to have to tell you guys to go to the new positions page because there are so many buy candidates. I don't even know where to start. There were also so many signals today that there's not that many great actual signals today on a Bible basis. WDAY is going to be my best one that I'm not taking today. The reason why it doesn't get taken, while you're going to see, is because I only have so much cash left, and I had to pick and choose, and there are 3 better positions tonight based on the earnings and sales growth that I'm going to go ahead and select. So WDAY, if you want to go along this one, be my guest. It's high quality. ALGN is even higher quality, and as you can see there, beautiful pocket pivot point signal. So those are probably my 2 top signals that I'm not taking. What I am taking tonight, though, is an ad in GWPH. GWPH is giving another pocket pivot point signal bounce off the 50-day moving average with another increase in BOP, just like it did earlier in the month in August. So once again, this is going to be a 2.5% ad. I may only add 2% and then allocate more capital to the other positions and or split this up, and let's say that I only have 3% of my capital left. This one seriously might only get like 0.5 and the other 2 might get like 1.25 or 1.75 each, because it's just at the point that I would rather not add a position as big or bigger than the previous signals. And I think the first signal was 2.5, second signal is 2.5, and this one's 2.5, so it might be 2%. Well, we'll see. I'm going to gauge how much capital I have left. I did not check before making this video. The 2 new long positions, though, Flex. It's only $11 stock. It's in my Can Slim scan. Why? Look at the earnings and sales growth the past 4 or 5 quarters. Look at the estimates for next year, the cash flow, profit margin, return on equity, and look at where it's from. That's the most important part to me. It's from Singapore, Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia stocks, biotech stocks. Get this in your head. Southeast Asia stocks, biotech stocks. Southeast Asia stocks, biotech stocks. That's where I want to be, and that's why I keep taking those trades. So Flex is producing a pocket pivot point signal as it goes through the 50-day moving average. We do not have much risk in this chart at all for the potential reward we could see if it decides to move higher immediately. excellent reward risk situation. If you have the capital, go ahead, 5% it. Earnings, I think, are in October. I know they're not in September, but they're in October. So we got plenty of time. So before earnings. So this is a great, great, great candidate. And I definitely like it. It would be a 5%er, but I can't do that with an $11 stock. This extended in an overbought short-term rally. And then the other new long position is the best one tonight. ENTA's earnings and sales growth are over 999% on Market Smith. I use that number because they don't do 1,000%. But that sales growth and earnings growth is huge. The estimates for the next quarter are for a big gain in EPS also, and 2015 earnings per share estimates are extremely large, which you can only get that with more huge sales growth. So this is an excellent stock. It's a little extended. I will probably be working limit orders where I'm thinking I want to do it right around the 41.78, the 41, 42 area. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see when we cross that bridge. When we get there, you guys can do a market order. You guys can do limit order, whatever you want. This is an extremely high quality stock. I just need to remind everybody, we are very extended on the short term and in a very overbought situation, especially in the NASDAQ 100. So be careful short term here. Aloha. Thank you.